The haunting story of the Springfield Three. On a warm June night in 1992, a close-knit community in Springfield, Missouri, was thrust into a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. 3 women vanished without a trace, leaving behind a home that held only questions. This is the story of the Springfield Three: Sherrill Levitt, her daughter Suzie Streeter, and Suzie's friend Stacy McCall. 3 lives intertwined in a single night, forever lost in the shadows of the unknown. Before diving into the night of their disappearance, let's take a moment to know who these 3 women were. Sherrill Levitt was a hard-working 47-year-old mother, known for her dedication to her job as a cosmetologist. She was described as friendly, responsible, and deeply devoted to her only daughter. Suzie Streeter, 19 years old, was a recent high school graduate with a bright future ahead. She was close with her mother, and they lived together in a modest home on East Delmar Street. Suzie had a best friend, Stacy McCall, also 18 and fresh out of high school. Stacy was an outgoing, fun-loving girl with a contagious smile. Both Suzie and Stacy had just graduated from Kickapoo High School, ready to take on the world. June 6, 1992, was a night of celebration. Suzie and Stacy had just graduated, and like many teens, they were eager to join in the post-graduation festivities. The plan was simple. They would attend several parties throughout the night, and then head to Branson, Missouri, the following day for a weekend at a water park. As the night wore on, the girls decided to stay in Springfield and spend the night at Suzie's house, instead of driving to Branson early. It was a last-minute decision, a choice that would place them at Sherrill Levitt's home, 1717 East Delmar Street. Around 2 a.m., the girls arrived at the house, where Sherrill had already gone to bed. They settled in, ready to rest after a long day and night of celebrations. But by the morning, the 3 women would have vanished. The following day, Stacy's mother, Janice McCall, began to worry when she hadn't heard from her daughter. She knew Stacy had planned to go to Branson, but calls to her daughter's phone went unanswered. By midday, Janice decided to drive to Sherrill's house to check on the girls. What she found was deeply unsettling. The front door was unlocked, the television was on, and all 3 women's cars were parked outside. But the house was eerily silent. Sherrill's purse, Suzie's belongings, and Stacy's clothes were all there, but the women were gone. Even more puzzling, their personal items, including their keys, purses, and cigarettes, were left behind, things none of them would have willingly left without. Janice searched the house, calling out their names, but there was no sign of them. Feeling uneasy, she contacted the police. As officers arrived, the reality of the situation began to set in. The Springfield Three were missing. The investigation into the disappearance of Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy quickly became one of the largest in Springfield's history. The home showed no signs of forced entry, no struggle, and nothing appeared stolen. It was as if the women had simply vanished into thin air. Investigators combed through the house, searching for clues, but found little that could point them in the right direction. A broken porch light was noted, but it was unclear if it had any connection to the case. One odd detail was a voicemail that had been accidentally deleted before police could listen to it. Some speculated that it could have held crucial information, but it was lost forever. The investigation expanded beyond the house. Search teams scoured the nearby areas, and officers interviewed friends, family, and neighbors, but no solid leads emerged. Despite an extensive search and multiple theories, the case quickly hit a dead end. It was as if the earth had swallowed them whole. With no clear evidence, investigators began exploring potential suspects and theories. One of the earliest suspects was Robert Craig Cox, a convicted kidnapper and known criminal who was in Springfield at the time of the disappearance. Cox had a history of violence against women, and when questioned, he provided an alibi that later fell apart. Despite this, there wasn't enough evidence to charge him, and Cox remains a person of interest. Another theory suggested that the women had been abducted by someone they knew, possibly someone who entered the home willingly. This theory was supported by the lack of forced entry, but again, there were no leads to pursue. Some speculated that the disappearance was connected to organized crime, while others believed the women might have been trafficked. Yet, none of these theories have been substantiated with credible evidence. The case grew colder with each passing day, month, and year. As the years went by,
hope of finding Sherrill, Suzie, and Stacy alive began to fade, but their families never stopped searching for answers. Janice McCall, in particular, became a vocal advocate for her daughter, never giving up hope that one day Stacy would come home. In the years following their disappearance, various tips and leads came in, but none led to any significant breakthroughs. The house on East Delmar Street was eventually sold, and a new family moved in, but the memory of that fateful night lingers on. For the families, the pain of not knowing what happened is a wound that never heals. In recent years, the case of the Springfield Three has seen renewed interest. Advances in technology and forensic science have brought hope that one day new evidence might emerge. Documentaries, podcasts, and true crime enthusiasts have kept the story alive, raising awareness and keeping the mystery in the public eye. Despite the decades that have passed, the disappearance of Sherrill Levitt, Suzie Streeter, and Stacy McCall remains one of Springfield's darkest mysteries. Theories continue to circulate, but without concrete evidence, the case remains unsolved. It stands as a chilling reminder that even in small, close-knit communities, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface. The story of the Springfield Three is a haunting tale of three women who vanished without a trace, leaving behind more questions than answers. For more cases like this, like, share and subscribe. Goodbye.